But there are so many people out there who felt that President Biden shouldn't have run for re-election. And you wrote in a book that it was, quote, Joe and Jill's decision, that other Democrats decided it was Joe and Jill's decision. Well, do you regret not voicing your opinion in that moment?
Yes, and I actually have reflected on that, and I've written about that. I realized... Would it have mattered if you did? I don't know. But I can only take responsibility for myself. Mm-hmm. And on reflection, and I talk about it in the context of asking a question of myself, was that grace to not bring it up to him, or was it reckless? Mm. And on my part, I do reflect on that and feel that there was a recklessness about not raising it with him. I talk about what was going through my head, right? And what was going through my head to not bring it up was that it would come off as being very self-serving, and therefore maybe lack the credibility that it deserved. But I do think about it. And I also say, though, and I speak extensively about this, my concern about him running for re-election was completely separate from my admiration and knowledge about his capacity to serve as President of the United States, which was consistent and never wavered.
Well, when we sit here, as we sit here today, do you think he would have been up for running the country for 4 more years?
Here's the distinction that I make. And having had the experience myself, it is one thing to have the capacity to govern. It is another thing to go through an election for President of the United States. So you are an athlete. You may appreciate this kind of metaphor. Running for President of the United States is like being in a marathon at a sprinter's pace with people throwing tomatoes at you every step you take. It is not for the lighthearted. It takes an incredible amount of endurance and stamina. And can you imagine doing it while you are also carrying literally the weight of the world as being President of the United States? So the distinction I make is about capacity to be president and what that election would require in that campaign, especially running against Donald Trump.